Hey guys, this is Versatile from GameDexterity. So in today's video tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can take your regular PS3 standard controller, not the clone, but the real official Sony controller PS3, and connect it to your laptop, netbook, or desktop using a Bluetooth adapter. Now, granted, my particular netbook doesn't have a built-in Bluetooth, so I have a Bluetooth adapter dongle right here. And for purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to assume that you have done two things already. First thing is your Bluetooth adapter or built-in Bluetooth is working perfectly. And the second item is you have already gone to the more info section and downloaded the latest copy of the MotionInJoy program, which we will be using for today's video tutorial. So how does this work, right? So let me launch up the program. It's called DS3 Tool. So that's after you installed it, run the DS3 tool. And if you go to the more info section, I do have a link to like the wiki and FAQs so you can get up to speed on everything that you need to know. And what I also have is this type of cable that connects to your PS3 controller. So make sure that you plug it in right now. Okay, great. So this is how you do it from start to finish. This is what the program looks like. And hopefully you guys can see it, but we go to the driver manager, okay? Once you are a driver manager, it will proceed to find your PS3 controller and it's going to notify you of what drivers you have available. Alright, so we see that I have two different types of drivers available. That's fine. So I'm just going to pick the first one, for example, and click on load driver. And if everything is successful, you'll see this data log right here at the bottom. And if you scroll down, it basically says that load driver for port whatever has been completed, and it looks like it was a success. Otherwise, it'll give you like an error message. Now, how do you test this, right? So if you go into profiles here, profiles is pretty cool because here you can tell your controller how do you want it to behave. Do you want it to behave like a PlayStation 1 with the D-pad without the joystick, or PlayStation 2 with the point of view in the joysticks, or whatever? If you go to the help section of this program, it defines what all of these 3 or 4 or 5 different profiles are, so you can make your own profile. But if you had a controller that has vibration, this particular one doesn't. But if you did, what you could do is click on this vibration testing right here, and then your controller would vibrate. Anyways, what I want you to do on this profile page is go ahead and select a particular profile. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the first one, and then I'm going to click on Enable. Okay? So now if I go to click on this button, Game Controller Panel, it's going to bring up this Game Controllers window here. If I go to Properties, now if I start pushing my buttons here, now you can see it's moving around, see? So that's awesome, right? And then if I also want to have the analogs working, what I do is I press OK, go back. Let's say I click on PlayStation 3 button like here, click on Enable, now click on Game Controller Panel, and then go back to Properties. And now if I move my analogs, see, it's all moving here. So it's pretty cool stuff. So what I'm going to do real quick here is I'm going to go back to my other profile because I want to demonstrate this working in action. So I'm going to go back to Enable here. Okay, now the best part of this program is the Bluetooth. So how do you do that? So you click on BluetoothPair. And this is where I said you got to make sure that your Bluetooth adapter is working, because if it is, it'll show up here basically. And then you want to make sure that you click on Supports Feature, because not all Bluetooth adapters will support the PS3 controller. And more in particularly, you're looking at number 39 and 40, because you need to make sure that your particular Bluetooth adapter has this EDR protocol / technology. Otherwise, all you can do with your PS3 controller is just make it vibrate, which is no good. So luckily my Bluetooth adapter is working, and hopefully yours has a supported feature that allows it to work too. So I go back to BluetoothPair, and I go down here, click on the DualShock 3 USB, and I click on Pair Now. And then you'll see it says it has paired to this particular IP address or adapter MAC, of this Bluetooth adapter. So now what I can do is literally disconnect. Oh no, we are still okay. If you go back to Profiles, and then if you go to like Game Controller Panel, for example, we see that if I go to Properties, I am still connected. See how everything is moving? Pretty cool stuff. So if you guys still don't believe this, let me launch a Mugen game real quick here. This is a community port of this Marvel vs. Capcom 3. It's not the real Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but you get the idea. Let's go back a little bit farther. Okay, sweet. Alright, let's do this. So I just want to show you guys that, yeah, this does work. and I have no cables attached. It's all wireless. Oh, nice. KO. Nice. Alright, so I'm going to skip that. I just want to show you guys that, yeah, this does work. This is the PS3 controller connected to the netbook through a Bluetooth. It's awesome. So if you have a PS3 controller, give it a try. And if you go to the wiki, there's actually a link that shows you what games are compatible, what games you got to use the Xbox 360 emulator mode, and all that good stuff. So if you like this type of video, please like, favorite, and subscribe so that hopefully one day we can get to the front page of YouTube. Otherwise, if you got any nitpicky questions, leave a comment here on the YouTube page and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Once again, thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.